morning.
Good morning.
So we're back to a bad camera because something's going on with the good camera. I don't know. Who can keep track of all the technological fails? It's just infuriating, Dr. Mary. I feel like I spend so much of my life infuriated. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, here we are.
At least
Happy
not with
Thursday.
me.
That's true. I'm
So, yeah.
infuriated with stuff. So I guess there's that. Also, can you tell I just put all my moisturizer on my face? Wow. It's been a crazy morning. Okay. It's Guest Thursday. We have no guest. Part of the crazy. When you are all the things, sometimes some of the things fall apart. I was sick all last week. We kind of maxed out everyone we obviously knew. I sent out a call. I'm in conversation with some people, but we don't have anybody lined up for today. So that's all right. It's just a different Guest Thursday. It's actually a show and tell guest.
Oh, I like
Thursday.
those.
I like those too. And we are talking about something today that I think marries all of my work. Because many of you know that my daytime gig is that I run an arts nonprofit organization. And we have a big fundraiser tonight. And so I was thinking back to you getting sober and how challenging having Maz at events could be. Not because you drank too much, because you didn't, because as everyone knows, you did not drink excessively in public. But because you came with alcohol in you. And so you were sometimes surly and you were a little bit difficult. And I had to keep like a third eye on you all the time. So now in these events, I'm greeting donors, I'm setting things up, I'm making asks of people, and I'm trying to make sure that Maz isn't doing anything that I somehow have to try to manage. And a really big piece of my learning through all of this is, who can you manage? Just yourself. So I never did very successfully manage you because you're a grown-up.
Yeah.
And let me be clear, mostly you managed yourself fine. There were very few times in those years where I thought, oh, please, could the building just collapse on us so that we don't have to deal with this? So, mostly it was fine, but it was stressful. Okay, so then let's fast forward to the first event that we went to. It wasn't even an arts partnership event. It was the first event that we went to. It was a fundraiser for an organization in a community nearby called Kindred Area Arts Partnership. And there was this piece of art that was being made by a Kindred High School graduate and an art major at MSUM named Michael Walz.
Very talented lad.
Incredibly talented. It's a piece called The Knot. And they were going to do a live auction of it. So the auctioneer is there, and my job really is to just play Vanna White and hold the piece of art. So I'm holding the piece of art, and I can't see anything because it's a big piece of art. I'll show you in a minute. So I'm standing like this, and the auctioneer says, blah, 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 who'll give me 200, blah, 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 and I hear, say it, please.
200.
And I thought, that sounds Irish, but whatever, can't be Irish. Whatever, 250, back and forth. And then I realize it's Maz Mary who's bidding on this piece of art.
Well, you said you liked it.
Yes, I did. I also like to live in England. Could we make that work? And so I peeked out from behind this piece of art to make sure that my ears were not deceiving me. And what do you know? This piece of art came home with us. So it's called The Knot. It's hair. I mean, not literal hair. It's a pencil drawing. But I think this piece is extraordinary. So I did one of these, like, who is bidding on this? I love this piece of art so much. It's the very first piece of art you ever bought me. I jokingly say that if anything ever happened to our marriage, all the good art would go with Maz, because he's only ever bought me 2 pieces of art, both of which I love. But I was thinking about the magic of that evening today and how glorious it was to be there with somebody sober and present and engaged. Okay, so I've talked for a long time. Do you have anything you want to add to that memory of the evening?
Yeah, I was kind of afraid of going to this thing because I had on, I don't know if you do have a picture.
I do. Should I put it up?
I had this sports jacket that we bought me a couple of years, I think, before I got sober. So in the ensuing time, I've lost 29 pounds. So it looks like something I borrowed from my grandfather in my mind.
Okay.
Because the thing was just huge. It felt huge on me. I was sitting, you can see this big, it was someone's private house, and there was lots of
a beautiful home,
but lots of stuffed dead heads sticking out of the walls everywhere. Because he was a prolific
animals,
hunter.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a dentist, and it was heads of people who
Nope,
were paid.
doctor.
Oh, okay.
Stop it.
So, and I was sitting on this big sofa by this big, fantastic fireplace. And everyone was handing out wine for someone who just
they were they had bought a case of very expensive wine.
So they decided to show it to everyone. So they everyone was just being nice and offering me glasses of wine, and I was sitting there, no, I'm good, thanks. Which was stressful for me because that was the first time I was actually in public declined to drink.
Okay.
So I was just sat there at the front, and Dana had this picture of art on it, and I thought, all right, I kept saying to myself, you're present, you're doing everything right. You know where the door is, and you know where the back door is. You can walk around a house if things get bad. And then I just thought, Dana did say that she liked this piece of art. So I'm going to prove to Dana I actually have been listening to her since I've been out of rehab. So I just started to bid on it, thinking I thought I could go too far. You could be irked because I've just spent a fortune on a piece of art that you kind of said, I liked it. I didn't love it. It was all quite stressful. But it turned out quite well in the end.
So this piece is in our bedroom, and I look at it often. First of all, I didn't know that piece about the people handing out alcohol. I mean, I had forgotten it. I do remember it now.
And they were nice as punk. I said, no, I'm good, thanks. And they just didn't. They just moved on. But But it was the first time that happened. So, I was learning on the go.
Yeah, but I love this piece. I loved this piece because it's incredible. Let me see if I can take this picture off. Hey, do you think you could help hold this for a second?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. There we go. Wait, let's see. That's sort of the best we're going to do. I'm going to bring it closer. This piece is incredible. He's an amazing artist. So I love it for its artistry. I love it because it was a silent auction piece, which meant the money went to support the organization, which you can imagine is important to me. But I mostly love it because it was such a present for you to be present.
I really enjoyed it. It was a great evening.
It was a great evening. And all of the evenings since have been great at all these events, all these places, all these opportunities that we have because you are present. And when you are present, then I can be present in just the moment as opposed to trying to manage things. It would be great to say, oh, I know that if something were to go poorly again, I wouldn't try to manage things. Of course I would try to manage things. Have you met me? Of course I would try to manage things.
In a nice way.
No, not necessarily. I'm a manager. But I think there is, if you are someone who has been through something hard, either by yourself or in a relationship, I think having something like this doesn't have to be art, doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to have been expensive. This happens to have been all three of those things, but it doesn't have to be that. But having something that is a clear and present reminder of this was the moment that I knew things could be different. This is the reminder that I have of the first time I truly understood how our future could be. That's an incredible thing to have because it's easy to take it for granted. It's easy to take you for granted now, your presence, your sobriety for granted. I mean, we're fortunate. We talk about it twice a week. So it would be hard for us to take it for granted. But in general, I think it's easy to just think, oh, we don't need to think about the before time. I think you do need to think about the before time, not so that you can feel shame or be embarrassed or use it as a leverage, if you're having a fight or something, but so that you can be grateful for the present in a different way. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just yeah, no, that's all I wanted to say about that evening. God, that was early. That was even before, I think that was before we even went to that conference.
Yeah, it was in May.
Yeah.
It was in May of 2017.
Wow, yeah.
So I just love that piece of art, and I even more love the story behind the getting of the piece of art. It was fun to see you.
I do remember your face when I do remember seeing you peek out behind and your mouth was half open going, what are you doing?
I just couldn't believe it. But what are you doing in the most joyful of ways? You're not a spontaneous.
Yeah, no, it was. And I thought that, and then you smiled, and I thought, do I keep going?
Yes,
when do I stop?
Nope. One of the great things I will say to anybody watching from my day job hat is pay more for art than you think you should. If you're at an auction, if you're at a silent auction, if you're at a fundraiser, don't go for the lowest amount you can get the art for. Pay as much as you can. And then if you can go a little bit more, do that. I can promise you, no nonprofit doesn't need it. We all need it. So, and it's an amazing thing for the artists too. So do what you can to support the arts. Do what you can to have some kind of reminder of your first moment where you thought, oh, I think our lives are going to be different in the best of ways. Because it's powerful to have that reminder. It helps keep you aware and present and grateful. And I think there's so much to be grateful for. I value having this piece to just remind me in case I start to take it for granted. You good?
I am.
All right. Have a great weekend. We'll be back next Tuesday. See you then.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.